This is a test stream, and we will be testing our stream for authenticity. So, let's see how this works. Okay, first of all, we have to switch our audio from that till we have to go to audio, our speakers from okay, till we have to go to audio, our speakers from okay. So we are going to start recording now. So hello everybody and welcome to the stream. At this point we have no viewers, but this will be the playback. We're going to be doing one-on-one debates here. As I've coordinated with the Politics Discord. Thank you guys for that. If any Discord moderators have any changes they want me to make to the setup, speaking of changes, there is one thing. I don't want to have names showing here. So hello everybody. Welcome to the GWS podcast. Podcast / stream, however you want to look at it. I go by GWS, and this is primarily for the politics server on Discord. But I'm also posting this to YouTube, and maybe eventually I'll go to Twitch, though we've had problems with that before, as my Alexa decides she wants to chime in. That's okay. So, just kind of as an introduction, we're going to be doing one-on-one debates in the one-on-one rooms, and I'm going to be recording this. So, pretty much, user is going to choose the topic and tell me what they want to debate. So, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get on here and we're going to change our name. Okay, so we got that. Now it's going to be clear to people that this is going to be recorded. I don't want anything to be unrecorded. So, anyhow, just before we get people in here, we'll be watching for them. I am a centrist right, kind of libertarian-ish. If you were to just throw me randomly on a spectrum, but I debate the issues, I don't debate the ideologies. I'm not an ideologue. I don't believe in ideological rails. So, you're going to see in here a lot of different positions from that perspective. You'll be very shocked at hearing one position than hearing another, because it's like I'll appear as one thing, but then you'll listen to me on something else. I'll appear as something completely different, right? So, I don't know if I want to elaborate on my positions. I'd kind of rather people be more surprised. We'll be posting all these recordings too, and I think it'll post on YouTube automatically. And eventually, once I get my Twitch account stuff sorted out, we'll go on Twitch too. We'll try this there. So, I guess kind of inspirations is, you know, I see Vosh doing these debates, and it's like, you know, I don't want people to get outflanked by the left wing with their little Twitch podcasts, right? You got Vosh, you got Hassan Piker, and it's like their positions are so incredibly flawed, to say the least, and even their attitudes in some cases. And another thing that's kind of inspired me is, if you look at the YouTube right in the past couple of years, the content severely suffered, right? You saw this with the Steven Crowder situation. Steven Crowder goes on H3H3 and wants to debate the people over there. I'm not very familiar with that channel. I know that's the caveman boomer in me, blah blah, but Steven Crowder goes on there, and then Sam Cedar comes on to debate him, and it's like, he wants none of it. You know, now, first of all, just as a matter of principle, you should want to debate anybody, any number of people on the position that you think you're right about. And you know what? The way I see it, if I'm debating 10 people, and one of those people can pick my position apart, that's good. Like, what's the problem? Like, if I'm debating 10 people, that's me who gets to be educated, right? And if my position could hold up to 10 people, then that shows a lot about my critical thinking on the issue. Doesn't mean I'm right, but it means, at least according to 10 different perspectives, I'm right. You know, okay, you should be welcoming that. Like, just as a basic thing. And then another thing is the matter of Sam Cedar. Now, Sam Cedar's gotten his ass kicked all over Politicon multiple times, right? The guy's not that competent of a debater, right? I've called him to a show and I've debated him, and I've taken him to task on things like climate change. But, you know, not going to toot my own horn too much there, but the fact is, the guy's not exactly like a world beater in debates. You know, it's like, okay, a debate's scheduled to be one thing, right? But, you know, what's wrong with the whole impromptu thing? In fact, Steven Crowder was known for that. If you listen to Steven Crowder, he crashes people's sets on Politicon and other people's events, right? That was his thing. And he does it for Crash Comedy. And we all loved that when he did it. Right? When Alex Jones goes on TYT and then causes Cenk Uygur to start screaming at him and throwing shit. That was good. Why wouldn't we want that? And so, I guess the point I'm trying to get across is, things happen unscheduled all the time, in unscheduled ways. And it's not about you looking good. Right? Yeah, you have an image to protect, you have a YouTube channel, you have a following, I get it. But that following believes in the same stuff that you do, so it's like, if you're debating somebody and you can just be reasonably competent, you're not going to lose followers. Because they are thinking along the same lines you are. As long as you're honest with people, as long as you make clear to them that, you know, you're going through, you know, you're not being intellectually lazy, they're going to support you. Even if the fans of the other show are going to support them. But see, the whole point of clash debate is that clash, right? you're taking your followers and you're exposing them to new lines of thought. You're exposing them to new lines of thought, and with that clash, you're going to find out who's right in what ways, who's wrong in what ways, you know, what kind of general agreement can we settle on, and what can we take home with us that can improve our methodology, our thinking. It doesn't necessarily mean the opponent's right, but it could mean like maybe you made some assumptions in your thinking. And yeah, I know I'm talking in vague terms. I'm not going over positions, but as a general rule, that's what debate is about. Debate is about the clash and the demolition of bad ideas. That science goes all the way back to the scientific method, right? So, I guess while we're waiting here for somebody, I'm going to click off of this window and let's try to fill the time with looking up some news. You guys aren't going to be able to see this, but I need to get like one of those news compilers. That Morning Brew, I think, is one of them. So let's go to our favorite website. Let's go to CNN. Let's look up some of CNN's articles, and then we'll kind of debate with that. And all I can say is if somebody's coming, then they're going to have to say something. Okay, so let's kind of look at the... Okay, surprising amount of deaths will soon occur in these parts of the United States. Okay, areas that are lagging in vaccinations are seeing a rise in COVID cases. Experts warn these spikes usually lead to a rise in death rate after 3 to 4 weeks. But what they're not telling you is that these quote-unquote spikes are like, okay, a couple thousand. COVID is basically over, even in these quote-unquote spike areas. Like, you're talking about regional stuff. Like, it's going to be local outbreaks, and I imagine that's going to be what COVID is going forward. You're going to have, it's going to be something like West Nile, right? That was a big thing, and then now it's just like, you get sparse cases here and there. So it's like COVID's never going to die, but our concern with COVID is basically over. Okay. CDC, FDA looking into risk of nerve complication after Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. And see, these are the concerns people have, and this is why you have to, allow people to exercise caution if they feel caution's necessary, especially given the people who are dying from COVID-19. Like, people, like the media will never report that almost all the deaths, 40% of all COVID deaths are just in nursing homes, right? Like, that's horrible, but it's important that we realize that COVID affects people of advanced age, and age is basically the factor of COVID-19. There's other things like obesity and all that, but the correlation is basically with age, and every other thing is auxiliary to that. Now, but again, you gotta let people exercise caution because we're dealing with excuse me, we're dealing with a rushed vaccine. We're dealing with a rushed vaccine that's not FDA approved, that did not go through the same processes of other vaccines and medications. Most medications take years to get approved, by the way, for anything. That's the whole problem with the FDA, is that they're incredibly slow. So when you have something that goes through the pipeline this fast, that is very shocking. Okay, so here's an opinion. Pfizer's latest statement. That's me on the edge. I'm not even going to read that. CPAC crowd cheers anti-vaccine author. Here, Fauci's Fauci responding to anything. I don't know whether to click this and laugh my ass off or ignore it and just say, that's standard Fauci. You know, Fauci is the low-hanging fruit now. Like, at this point, given everything that's come out about him, there's just not much left. Okay, so here's some news and buzz. Drake Bell sentenced to probation after sexual text with a minor. Oh jeez, imagine my shock on that one. My streams probably demonetized, but never had monetization to begin with. Let's see, scuffle breaks out over at lawmakers' town hall. This one's kind of interesting. Let's read about this. Okay, Democratic Representative Katie Porter of California responded to a scuffle that broke out in an event she held in her district on Sunday between protesters and attendees, claiming that the incident was premeditated by her opponents. Of course. You know, it's just really interesting how Democrats, when stuff breaks out in their areas, the first ones they blame are Republicans. First they deny it. They deny it happened. And then it's Trump's fault. Or it's Republicans' fault. Or it's somebody else's fault. Right? It's just standard stuff. Okay, let's read more stories. How Texas House Democrats plan a block voting bill. So this is the whole walkout thing, where they're trying to break quorum by walking out of the legislative body. You know, the difference is now they're going to have time to call a special session and then call for changes in the rules. And one of the rules they can remove is the quorum rule, right? Now, the curious question is, if there's no quorum to begin with, can they change the rules to remove the quorum requirement? That's what I'm curious about. But I'm sure there's some kind of procedure that could block this. And it's just interesting to me. It's really interesting that here's Democrats on one side talking about getting rid of the filibuster because it prevents stuff from being done, right? It prevents, quote unquote, democracy from happening. And then on the other hand, you have the democratic process in the state of Texas that's being interrupted by the same kind of procedures. The minority exercising procedures in order to assert the rights of the minority. And in general, there do need to be some rights of the minority. Like, when Trump was filibustered left and right, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a Trump supporter, and we'll get into the minutiae of that as time goes on. Hang on, let me find... Okay, yeah, I'm still right there. Okay, I just want to make sure my stuff is still in order. But, yeah, we'll get into the minutiae of the Trump supporter stuff once somebody asks about it. Because I'm anticipating somebody eventually having the balls to come in here and debate on the stream. Right? Okay, so let's look at more stories here. We're not going to give up just yet. Okay, fact check Trump lies over and over again. I don't even think we need to get into that. That was a real whopper. CNN fact checks Trump's interview. Analysis: Trump accidentally told truth about his view on polls. That's that's another interesting thing, I guess. A lot of things are interesting, but um, reality is Trump has been out of office since the end of January. And Trump's been out of office since the end of January. And they still can't stop talking about him. Because the reality is that Trump has a stranglehold. And I think that's a good thing, in that people aren't letting the media in the political sphere and big tech determine what their positions are. And that is such a good sight to see. Okay, so let's look up many other stories. Many home buyers are dropping out of the market. Don't blame them. Disney and big banks lead stocks to all new
Hello.
time highs. Oh, we got somebody. Hello. You are on stream. What's up?
Hello.
Hello? Oh, okay. I got pushed to talk on, that's why. Um,
Anyone that
yeah, you are live on my live stream. What's up?
Oh, live stream.
Yeah.
That's nice. Nothing much, man.
Ah, okay.
It's just quite late and I decided to join the server.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got somebody on here. It doesn't seem
What
like
about
it's me.
you?
I'm just trucking on with my stream. I'm reading stories from CNN at the moment.
Oh, exciting. I love a bit of CNN.
Yeah, a lot of garbage on there I've been reading. It's nonstop Trump hate on there. It's nonstop everything.
I find it quite funny though, because even when Trump's like not doing anything, they're like, Trump did something. And I'm like, no, he didn't do anything.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that happens all the time. They spin shit to say, whatever their narrative says, whatever their narrative says for them to spin, that's how they're gonna spin it.
the funniest bit was not even on Trump actually, it was on Biden. Um, Biden said like he's a proud capitalist, and he got tons of backlash, which is quite funny.
Yeah, he cuddled the extreme end of his party, and now he has to contend with the extremism of his own party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And they called Trump an extremist. I don't understand it. He's like quite a moderate guy. Besides his policies, he's like pro-gay and everything.
yeah. It's like I tell people, he's a
So
loudmouth
yeah,
moderate.
they just don't like him because he says like he calls CNN out on being like fake. That's the only reason.
Excuse me. But yeah, yeah. That's basic. That's exactly what it is. Is like he he contests the media and he contests their narrative, and he won't abide by their uh, narrative where they're trying to push a certain set of institutional values on people, and he doesn't go for it. Because like even Republicans have caved in like a bunch of cowards, many of them, to just this idea that we have to apologize for racism that mostly doesn't exist, and other woke shit. And it's like, Trump defies that, and you're getting Republicans in Congress who are defying it.
Exactly. So it's just stupid though. Even when I think about it, the whole woke stuff, it's only gonna make people more racist, especially Black Lives Matter. Um,
Yeah,
like the
yeah, the
most
reactionary.
people don't think about race until like everyone starts talking about it. So okay,
Yeah, it keeps the the separation of race in the conversation, and it gets the reactionaries out there. It's like, okay, you ban Milo Yiannopoulos from Twitter. Now you have 20 people who are just like him who are rising up. So you're not getting rid of the idea by banning one person, and it's like,
Milo Yiannopoulos actually got more famous after he got banned as well. So it's like, look, it's another right wing guy. He's like gay as well. Well, not anymore, but at the time he was. Look, this guy got banned of the woke left. Look at this guy, and then everyone started following the guy. Like Milo Yiannopoulos is a confusing mess. I think like he's an alright guy, but he's just a bit strange of a guy. But still, I still don't think he should be censored for anything.